About 2 weeks ago, Danny at GR Research went after Andrew Robinson for making two highly controversial statements. One, parts don't matter. And second, buy speakers that sound the way you like them and don't buy a pair you don't like and upgrade it later. Danny at GR Research uploaded a reaction video, and I'm here to tell you who is right and who is wrong. Andrew threw down the gauntlet at 13:03 seconds into his video when he said this.
What kind of crossover it has, or like wanted to see the crossover. And I'm like, come on.
Who cares?
Come on, stop. Yeah, like,
who cares?
What are we talking about?
I don't care if the crossover is a buffalo nickel hot glued to a paper clip.
Now, clearly Andrew was being sarcastic when he said he doesn't care if a crossover is a buffalo nickel glued to a paper clip. His point is clear and concise. It sounds good, and who cares why? Danny, in my opinion, wouldn't have made a reaction video if this was all Andrew said. But Andrew continued with point number 2.
You want to play designer, or what you prefer, in which case you probably shouldn't have bought that speaker in the first place. You know what I mean? Like the amount of people that are like, oh, you just fixed a crossover and it does it. It's like, then don't buy that speaker in the first place. Go buy something that's already in line with what you want, because you're not going to be chasing your purchase with more money.
Why upgrade? You should have done your research first. You're just throwing good money after bad. I still don't believe Danny would have bothered rebutting Andrew at this point. It was his statement at 18 minutes and 59 seconds that must have really gotten under Danny's skin. Here's what Andrew said.
It's about a boutique industry where there are literal small companies whose entire business model is to convince you that there's something wrong with what you've bought, and that rather than buy right, buy once, buy a kit to fix it.
And this is what caught Danny's attention. And unlike a shit show channel like mine with under 12,000 subs, Andrew has almost 400,000 subs and averages 20 times my views. And, just to segue for a second, that's right, Andrew gets 20 times my views per video, but he has almost 40 times my subscribers. So I want to thank you, my loyal subscribers, who are more loyal than any other subscriber on any other YouTube channel. I'm making that up. Back to the show. Danny's reaction is a 41-minute rebuttal. A rambling monologue that gets off point so often, I'm certain most people tuned out long before they heard him make his point. Andrew's entire bit about speaker parts that was relevant to this back and forth lasted only about 5 minutes. In an age when keeping people's attention for more than a minute is difficult, Danny does himself no service whatsoever by spending so much time beating around the bush. We had to wait 2 minutes and 16 seconds for Danny to actually get to his first point when he says the following.
What is all this about? So let's roll a little clip and see what he had to say.
I mean, really, but what is this really about?
It's about a boutique industry where there are literal small companies whose entire business model is to convince you that there's something wrong with what you've bought, and that rather than buy right, buy once, buy a kit to fix it.
All right, if you're like me, in that little clip, it sounded a lot like he was talking about GR Research.
It sounds a lot like he's talking about GR Research. I want you all to remember this, because when Andrew said there's small companies whose entire business model is to convince you there is something wrong with what you bought and buy a kit to fix it. Let's emphasize Andrew's statement again. There are small companies whose entire business model. Let's watch Danny's reaction one more time.
If you're like me, in that little clip, it sounded a lot like he was talking about GR Research.
You heard him. If you're like me, in that clip, it sounds a lot like he's talking about GR Research. Okay, so while all that's in your memory, Danny says at 4 minutes and 8 seconds in his video the following.
First of all, about GR Research, our business model is not centered around convincing people that there's something wrong with their speakers and we need to upgrade them, or we need to sell them an upgrade to fix their speakers because there's something wrong with their speakers. That's not what we do here at GR Research. Upgrades, and I mentioned this in a video not too long ago on our channel, upgrades comprise about 10% of our sales. The rest, the other 90% or so, is the selling of our own products.
Upgrades comprise about 10% of our sales? This begs the question. If 90% of your business is selling your own product, and your entire business model is not about convincing people to upgrade your crossovers, then why did you say it sounds a lot like he's talking about GR Research?
It sounded a lot like he was talking about GR Research.
That would be like someone making a video and saying, some reviewers are drunk every time they review a product, so you can't be sure what they're saying is based in reality. And then I respond saying, that sure sounds like he's talking about me, but I'm only drunk 10% of the time when reviewing a product. And just to set the record straight, I am drunk 100% of the time. I'm just trying to make a point. So my free advice to Danny, if Andrew makes a video in the future saying some reviewers are murderers, don't make a reaction video saying, that sure sounds like he's talking about me, but I'm no murderer. Either the shoe fits or it doesn't. So Danny rambles on, and I mean rambles on. I passed out 4 times. It actually took me 5 hours to watch his 41-minute video. But his most succinct argument comes here at 20 minutes and 16 seconds.
Bring people from where they are to, higher levels. That's the whole point of the upgrades, everything. We're trying to move people up the line. And when you discourage that and you say, well, that's not going to matter, you're kind of holding them here. We don't want to hold people down at a budget level. We want them to move up the ladder a little bit. They enjoy this hobby.
So he's telling Andrew, someone couldn't afford the best speakers 5 years ago, but they can afford to upgrade those speakers to get to the next level. Well, I'm not going to ramble. Andrew is wrong. Parts do matter, if for nothing more than reliability and consistency. I've seen the glue around drivers dry out and fall apart, crossovers blow, and cabinets come apart. You don't want a $2,500 pair of speakers to fail after 5 years. That's on the reliability front. Consistency is about manufacturing tolerances. Cheaper parts have less quality control. And just because someone measures a speaker and it sounds good and measures well, when you buy that speaker, will it measure the same? So yes, Andrew is right that if a speaker sounds good, who cares why? But thin gauge wire that can't handle some loads, cheap manufacturing tolerances that can make one speaker, even in the same pair, sound different from another, are failures just waiting to happen. And wait for it, yes, Danny is wrong too. Wrong because he made a video about something Andrew said that he said sounded like Andrew was talking about GR Research, while then saying that what actually Andrew did say doesn't actually pertain to what GR Research business model is all about. That's confusing. But Danny is also wrong about the bigger issue. Yes, parts matter, but he's obfuscating his message because he ignores the fact that manufacturers pay a tiny fraction of the cost of parts that you, as an individual, pay because they buy their parts in the thousands, not a single unit. And even after you pay the company's marketing costs and every other business expense not related to buying and assembling the product, what you end up paying is still far, far less than if you bought the part yourself. Andrew is right. Buy once, buy right. Now I know some of you will say, but it's our hobby. We like doing upgrades. First, let me correct you. If you're serious about audio, this is no hobby. But your point is clear. If you are serious about audio, why not upgrade your speakers if that gives you pleasure? And that's fine. Spend your money any way you want, but that's not Andrew's point. Andrew's point is still correct. Don't buy something you know you're going to need to upgrade later. And if you do, just admit it's not a sound investment. That's the part of Danny's reaction video that makes 0 sense. Not once does he mention how much it will cost you to upgrade a pair of speakers. Well, I'll tell you, because on GR Research's website, he sells upgrade kits, which includes the crossover and all necessary wiring and accessories. But they do not include, I repeat, do not include anything else. No drivers, no cabinet upgrades, like additional insulation. The kit doesn't even include a crossover mounting board. So let's say you go to ELAC's website and you pay $399 for a pair of debut 2 bookshelf speakers. How much to just upgrade that crossover and get the necessary wiring? Well, on GR Research's website, that will be $579. That's right, you pay 145% more than the cost of the pair of speakers for the privilege of ripping out the crossover and wiring it and replacing it. So you now have $979 invested in your ELAC Debut 2.0s. Andrew Robinson is 100% correct. You could have simply bought the ELAC Carinas for that investment, assuming you have stayed in the ELAC product family. I get it. Some people like to tinker. This isn't the crowd Andrew was talking to. To sum up, yes, parts matter, Andrew, but no, Danny, you shouldn't be buying them aftermarket. Buy them the first time in the right product. Once again, the Scientific Audiophile is right with opinions based in fact and science. Thanks for watching this edition of the Scientific Audiophile. Remember to subscribe for more content like this and drunken reviews.